Yes, they joined the club. Or well, as we're speaking this, the bill is heading over from the House to the governor's desk, and apparently the governor has said he's going to sign it. So it's essentially a fait accompli. We're talking a little bit about hardware. Yeah, we're talking a little bit about hardware. You guys want to talk about guns? We'll talk about guns. We got that. We got a Brownell's bullet points. We've got a homeroom from Crossbreed, and then we're going to talk about Tennessee. And we have some news. We have some news from our buddy Nicholas Orr. All that coming up on today's award-winning program.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Paul Markle, the host of Student of the Gun Radio, award-winning host. Let's say that. Award-winning host. The award-winning host of Student of the Gun Radio, heard around the world in what was the last count, Jared? 148 countries?
170 something.
Really? It was 100? I thought there was 170 in the world.
No, there's 196, I believe, in the world.
Oh, we have this debate like once every 5 years.
I know. 195. I guess one fell off the radar.
All right. Do we know whether or not we're being heard in Vatican City? That's a country.
I can give it a look-see.
Or Liechtenstein or Luxembourg or Vatican City, but
a little bit of them all.
So, Jared, according to the our stats, we're being heard around the world in 178 countries. We know we got either somebody was pulling our chain, or we got feedback from the weather station in Antarctica, and we don't know whether or not we're being listened to on the International Space Station or not.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But we may. The signal will reach, but I don't know. Worldwide, we're like Titus, Zach. We're worldwide.
Yeah.
What?
That reference was lost on me.
No, I said yeah.
Are you sad now because they've relegated him to talking head status?
Yeah, I'm out of the WWE, out of wrestling. I don't care anymore.
They're just it's just so sad.
Like,
Vince McMahon has allowed NBC to PC scrub the WWE material.
Oh, I did tell you about that.
Yep. Yeah. So Peacock bought them, or they backed a dump truck full of money up in front of Vince McMahon's house and dumped it out. And so now you have to subscribe to Peacock to get WWE events.
Yep.
And you're like, well, what's wrong with that? Well, they've also decided to PC it up, and so any material that their censors dub to be culturally offensive is going to be removed.
Yeah. Like retroactively?
Retroactively.
Oh yeah. Goodness. That's a lot of work. Somebody's getting paid hourly.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I'm paid hourly. What can we do? Oh, we need to go back and censor everything that we've ever done.
Well, go back and censor all the WWE from the 90s and the 2000s and the 80s.
And the not WWE, all the other companies that they bought the rights to.
Oh, like WCW and
WCW, Smoky Mountain, Mid-South, et cetera, et cetera. They got a bunch of them. And some of that stuff is like 70s.
That's pathetic.
So there was, as you can imagine, a lot of things. And then, of course, there's some things where it's like, yeah, that was stupid, but also, why the hell are you scrubbing it? But that's a different conversation. Like, yeah, that was bad, but also, like, I'm sure these freaking boba tea sipping millennials are going to be very, what's the phrase? Like, very discerning and very non-biased about what they believe should and should not be consumed by the public. I'm sure they'll be very, what's the word I'm looking for? impartial, whatever.
Gracious.
Well, we've allowed this to happen
Integrous.
before in our world.
Yeah.
The SA did it. The Nazis did it. The Gestapo did it. The Bolshevik Revolution, they did it in the Soviet Union. They scrubbed anything that they didn't approve of. They allowed these college kids, to basically take the reins. They did it in every totalitarian regime in the history of the world has done this.
Yeah.
There's never been an example of human history where the group that was censoring were the good guys. Censoring history, censoring language, censoring books, censoring movies. They've never been the good guys.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'm offended because they think I'm so weak-minded that I can't watch something
Can't make a decision
and not be offended by it.
At least Speedy Gonzalez was able to fight back.
Mm.
I'm sure everyone knows that story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, modern wrestling is either just not good and not entertaining to watch, or it is so stupid it hurts my brain.
Mm.
I don't speak Japanese, and they're ruining old wrestling. So I'm just done. I'm done. I don't care. Yeah, well, I want to throw Scrub the Ultimate Warrior. I don't know, probably. There's hundreds of people. That was a comment on our Facebook. There's been dozens of people who had various different controversies. At that point, are they just going to start scrubbing everyone who had some kind of controversy? Well, that goes 75% of all the previous library. Vince McMahon said the N-word on TV once. Are they just going to scrub all Vince McMahon stuff?
They're going to have to go through and they're going to have to scrub. They're going to have to scrub Stephanie. Remember all that crap with her and her dad and the mom in the wheelchair and all that?
Yep, that's part of it.
Yep, that was offensive.
Yeah, but who knows where they'll stop? Who knows if they'll stop? Who knows if they don't just say, screw it, everything before 2010 is not socially acceptable, cut it all. Cut it all.
That's the thing with totalitarians and bullies. And socialists are bullies. It's like 1984. There's never enough. There's never a point where they say, oh, well, that's okay. Let's just leave that alone. No, they just want more and more and more and more because it's control. If you guys have questions, if you're listening live, are we live on the socialist media platforms?
Yes, indeed we are. By the way, Jared, speaking of socialists, or socialist media rather, is there any possible update on Full 30 streaming? Are you?
Yeah, it's on the roadmap.
It's on the roadmap.
Okay. The same thing I told you last time.
Well,
Okay.
I asked you like 2 months ago.
All right. So if you have questions, throw them into the comment section, and the boys will monitor them, and we'll just do that. And all right. So let's. We've got good news from the world of Gozer. A few of you get that. Most of you won't. But we've got news. Nicholas Orr, our friend Nicholas Orr, as you're listening to this on Wednesday, the 31st, which is the last day. Also, I'm going to remind you guys, if you're in the Legion of Michael, Wednesday, the 31st of March at 5 p.m. Mountain Time is the live Q&A. So you should, if you are actively enrolled in the Legion of Michael, you will have an invitation to join the live Q&A. So that's a reminder for you guys. And also, our friend Nicholas Orr has been busy. He's been a busy beaver the last couple of months. Not only did he finish his new book, Operation Diomedes, book 3 in the Operator series, but there's going to be a brand new website called officialnicholasorr.com. And that is where you can not only buy the books, but you can keep up with what's going on, new things, articles, whatever. So if you are a fan of our friend Nicholas Orr and his work, his writing, now this is going to be the 4th book for him. Yes, indeed, the 4th book. So there you go. All right, you guys want to move into the Brownell's bullet points of the week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Boom. Yes, indeed. That always seems to me on my end like it cuts off really fast. Is it just me?
Yeah, you probably have the background thing.
Yeah, don't worry. It does a nice, a nice smooth fade out.
Okay. All right. Fantastical. All right. What is going on in the world of GATs? In the world of GATs. Well, Century Arms has released the Apparatus Pistol. Seriously, that's what it says on it. It's the Apparatus Pistol. And it's the Apparatus Pistol number 5, or AP5, not JP5. JP5 is totally different. AP5, and it is a clone. It is almost an identical clone to the original HK, the famous. Oh man, who used them? We had
James Bond.
No, James Bond never used an AP. No, you had Die Hard. You had John McClane. You John McClane took it and he goes, ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun.
Yeah,
what he had.
Yep.
Had the because you got to do the famous HK slap. You got to put the magazine slap. Put the magazine slap. It just looks cool. Carl Weathers had a pair of those. I think didn't he have a pair of MP5s in Predator? Because I remember watching the movie thinking, bless his heart, they've all got these massive guns. Jesse Ventura's got a man-portable freaking Gatling gun. Jesse Ventura's walking around with a Gatling gun and a backpack of ammo, and Bill Duke's got an M60 Echo 3, and Sonny Barger's got the M16 with a shotgun under it, and of course Dutch has got a 203 and an M16, and there's Carl Weathers in the background. Pew pew. I have my 9mm. Pew pew. Pew.
It looks cool though.
I remember watching that movie thinking, oh, is that all you got?
Oh,
bless your heart. Although I think the geek with the glasses, the comm geek, I think he was carrying an MP5. But we can give him a pass because he was carrying a heavy ass radio. Back then, the radios were freaking heavy. I don't mean to go old school on you guys, but if you never humped a Prick 77 with the crypto gear, you don't know the struggle. Don't know the struggle. I've seen
like
radio
a shirt slogan.
Pass out on humps with their eyes roll up in their heads and they turn green. So that's the first person I ever saw turn green was a radio man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on a hump in the jungle. We were over in Okinawa. We were humping the hills in the jungle, and this dude went whoop like a turtle, and that Prick 77 just pulled him backwards, and he was like turning green. I was like, it's not a lie. That actually happens.
It actually does happen.
That actually does happen. But we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about the AP5 from Century Arms. Okay, let's talk specifics. First of all, the AP5 to the internet is much like, do you remember only a few years ago when Century brought in the PSLs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And the miserable
they make excuses of why they're not going to buy one.
Yeah,
they're jealous that they don't have one.
The miserable people on the internet were like, I would never pay that much. Remember, they were $18.99 suggested retail.
Yeah,
and they sold them as fast as they could get them in the country. Well, guess what the suggested retail for a PSL is now?
6,000 something.
No, it's the MSRP. MSRP is 25.
Oh, okay,
2,500. So they were $18.99, and everyone's like, I'm just gonna buy a Dragunov. No, you're not. You can find one. They're $10,000 if you can find one. So the same exact people who cried like little babies. I'm keeping it PG here. When the PSL came in, but just save your money and get a Dragunov. Okay,
save your money.
Yeah, save your money and get a Dragunov. The exact same people are doing the exact same thing with the AP5 now. Well, for that amount of money, why don't you just get a genuine HK? Number one, because they're unicorns. You can't find them. And number two, you can't touch an SP5, which is the semi-auto version of the MP5, for under $4,000. You can't touch them for under $4,000. I've looked. Yeah, you say, well, I went to this online site and it said that the SP5 went for, $26.99 or $27.99. Like, yeah, that's an old auction that's expired and is not here. But if you can actually find one that is for sale, I'm talking about an HK, they're $4,000 and up. So the price tag for the SP or for the AP5, people are like, whatever, bro. And here's the deal. If you're wondering whether or not Century is out there waiting for the dysfunctional internet puke bags to approve, the answer is they're not. They're shipping these things to dealers as fast as they can. And the dealers are selling them as fast as they can.
Yeah. And here's the deal. We've shot one. It's fun to shoot.
Oh yeah,
it's fun.
Oh yeah. So it's a 9x9 by 19 millimeter semi-automatic roller lock delayed action. It has traditional. Here's the deal. It's made in Turkey on HK machinery. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean?
I don't know.
It means that essentially 99.9% of all the parts are identical and what do I want to say? Not transferable. Interchangeable with HK parts. The barrel is a cold hammer forged chrome molybdenum vanadium. That's a lot. It has the 3-lug quick attach. That's a pretty famous HK kind of thing. The 3-lug muzzle attachment, but at the end of the muzzle, it's threaded because not everybody has 3-lug adapters and 3-lug attachments. It's a 1/2 x 28. What does that mean? Well, 1/2 x 28 is the standard 9mm can thread in the United States, right? Jared, our mutual friend over there, is it Dead Air?
Mike Pappas.
Yeah, Mike Pappas.
Yep.
Doesn't Dead Air make 3-lug
yes.
cans?
They absolutely do.
Okay, I was going to look at for Dead Air silencers. They're another company that's in Utah. There's a lot of gun companies in Utah.
Yeah, I don't know for whatever reason they settled here in the Salt Lake Valley or down there in where's Barnes Bullets?
Oh yes, they're south. They're
south of Provo. But one of the cool things about this AP5 is that it actually came with a Picatinny style optics mount, so you can actually put the Picatinny mount on top, put a red dot, and then it came with a cleaning kit, obviously, maybe not obviously, but and then 2 magazines, 2 30-round magazines.
2 30-round magazines. Yeah.
And Dad, did you get surplus mags, or I don't remember what mags you got?
Oh no, I got I went when I knew that this was on its way before I even got my dirty hands on it. I went online to look for MP5 mags because and that's something else that when I heard about this, I contacted Century and I said, please tell me you're not going to do dedicated magazines. And they're like, no, they're going to be MP5 pattern magazines. I said, okay, because that is a lot. Some of these companies out there that are making these cool tricked out little 9mm pistols that look like submachine guns, but they're not, but they're 9mm pistols. Some of them have been releasing them with dedicated proprietary magazines. You're like, what's wrong with that? If you're proud of your gun, you should, no, because what happens is they run out and you can never find them. That's why if you can get a 9mm anything that takes Glock magazines, because there's more Glock 9mm magazines in the United States than any other pistol magazine, hands down, right? Even 1911s, hands down, right? So when I found that out, I went to Brownells. I'm going to see if I can go to Brownells right now. And it's a company called ETS. A lot of you, all you Instagram guys know them. You're like, why do Instagram guys know them? Because they're the ones that make the see-through, the tinted see-through Glock magazines, the extended Glock magazines. You know what I mean? The ones that all the guys like to hashtag EDC for their Instagram account. Is it ETS or ETC or I can't remember. I don't have one in front of me. You should. You should have one right there in front of you. I know. I'm a bad man. I'm a bad man. Oh, help me out there, internet.
Jared, while you help him out, Dad, did you see the...
I have no clue what I'm looking for.
Me neither.
But I'll Google some stuff.
Dad, did you see the thing I dropped in the notes?
Oh, it's ETS. It's Elite Tactical Systems. ETS magazines. So these are the ones that are kind of that translucent. They're clear, but they're kind of tan. Not really tan. They're kind of, I don't know how to describe it. But all the super cool G-Wiz, all the Instagrammers love to put them in their posts because you can see the bullets inside of the magazines. You can see the cartridges. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so long story short, ETS makes MP5 magazines. They make MP5 magazines.
Yes.
So, what do you want me to do with that thing that you dropped in there?
I was told, what's the phrasing, that you need to be updated.
I need to be updated. Okay.
Oh, it's the HK pricing. $45,995. I'm pretty sure that's the actual machine.
That's for a transferable machine gun. That's not for a semi-automatic.
Semi-auto, yeah.
If you're looking for a comparable product, look for SP5. The SP5 is a comparable product. Anyway,
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty interested in this the fully concealable version of the AP5, the AP5M.
Oh yeah, they're going to come out with essentially it's an MP5K, the personal defense weapon.
Yeah,
dude, if they can pull that off,
yeah,
if they can pull that off, it'd be something. So the ETS magazines, I went online to try and find HK MP5 magazines. Good luck. Number one, they're basically not available. But the magazines that are available are made by MKE, the metal magazines. There's MKE magazines. There's the ETS polymer magazines. KCI, the Korean magazines, are available. I don't trust KCI products. Sorry. I just don't. I've been burned by KCI Glock mags before.
I found some in stock MP5 mags. They're $100 a piece.
$99 a piece. Yep.
$99 of mags on the
$99.95. And I was actually shopping around to see what's available, and there was an SP, I think it was guns.com, an SP5, and a traditional SP5, real HK, and it came with 2 10-round magazines. Oh, be still my heart. I tinkled a little bit. 2 10-round magazines? Oh, and it was $4,500. Who sat down and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sell this with 10-round magazines because that's what people want, right? Yeah, that's what people want. They want 10 round. Just send it with nothing. I'm sorry. That's like a 10-round magazine in a gun like that is like a dust cover. It's just something you stick in the mag well to keep the dust from getting in. Comes with 2 10-round magazines. Oh, whoa. So Jared and Josh actually got their hands on this gun first, and they tried it out in the stock configuration, in the stock pistol configuration, because it is a pistol technically, and it ran just fine. They shot a bunch of the Century Arms, Red Army Standard ammo through it, ran just fine. And then I did something that apparently is being referred to now as markling it up. So, so I got the AP5 and I markled it up. I installed the SB Tactical retractable brace on it, which is a really high quality piece of gear. Very, very well made, high quality piece of gear. So I installed the SB Tactical retractable brace on it. I put the Picatinny rail on it. My only complaint about the Picatinny rail, the rail mount, is apparently whichever factory it was made in doesn't possess a buffer, because the corners are sharp as fudge. I cut my finger. See that finger? I cut it on that. So sandpaper or files or whatever. There's lots of different. I went and looked some accessories. There's probably 3 or 4 different rail mounts for MP5s, because the receiver is exactly like an MP5 receiver. So if you're looking for, a rail mount and you say, well, it says it's for an MP5, will it work on that? Yes. The question is, will this work? This piece, this muzzle brake, this brace, this magazine, this pick rail, when you say, well, will it work on the AP5? It's an MP5 thing or it's an SP5 thing. Will it work on that? The answer is probably 99 times out of 100 going to be yes, it will. What else did I put on there? Oh, so I put the rail on and I put an optic on it. And I put a Holosun optic that I got from Brownells that has a see-through riser. You're like, why would you want to do that? Well, because that allows you, with the see-through riser, you can either go heads up, keep your head up, shoulder it, and look through the red dot and bang, bang, bang. Or if for some reason God is angry with you today and your red dot stops working, you just dip your head down, look straight through it, and line up the traditional HK drum and post sights. If you're not familiar with the drum and post sights from HK, go ahead and look them up.
They're fun.
They're a thing. Yep. They've been around for a long time. What else did I do through it? That's all I've done to it to this point. Yeah. And I tried in the magazines, obviously all the factory magazines, the 2 factory magazines came with it, ran just fine. I loaded up a 40 round and a 30 round ETS magazine, stuffed them all the way full, left them on the shelf for a couple of days, took them out, zip, no problem. No feeding issues, whatever. Now, obviously I'm just getting started with those, but initially, no problem. The one piece of advice that I got from Century was make sure that it likes lube. Don't run it dry. It likes to be lubed up. It likes it wet. So fill in appropriate comment right there yourselves.
Is that going to be
a family-friendly show?
Is that going to be the finished firearm of the week next week? Or is that going to be not enough time to get that one done?
No, it won't be enough time. I am supposed to get my package. I got something that Duracoat's really good about is letting you know, like when you place an order, you immediately get a confirmation and then you get a tracking number from UPS. And I got yesterday. I had an email that says your package will be delivered tomorrow. So, but it'll take me a little bit. I got to let it warm up. But yeah, that's going to go into the Punisher series, which you guys haven't seen yet, but you're going to be excited about. Now, obviously,
it's going to be pretty cool.
Obviously, the next thing that needs to go on that is a silencer. And if you guys have been paying attention long enough, you know that I like the Tyrant cans from AAC, and that's what's going to go on there.
Sweet.
So, and I'm going to do a full write up on this. So that's coming. The long story short is it a new gun? Kind of. It's new for Century. It's not new for the world. The MP5 has been around for a long time. It's iconic.
Yeah.
It's like them 2 Australian chicks. It's iconic. And the interesting thing about the MP5 and about HK products is HK, being German, being made by German engineers, they do what they want. You're like, that's not like any other mechanism I've ever seen on any other kind of gun. Yeah, because German engineers do like German engineers want to do it, and they don't care what you did. It's an interesting thing, and it's, if you're looking for something that's well built and unique, and essentially it gives you an opportunity to examine different types of actions and manufacturing process and so forth. Give it
There's
a check.
only one reason you need to buy this thing is to do the HK slap. That's it.
Yep,
Just the only reason you need.
Well, you can do that with a G3. It's just a longer thing. I've got a G3 rifle, and the HK slap. That's right. And you don't have to HK slap the MP5 like you do the rifles. The rifles, you really got to give them a good bump to get them to release. But
You have to do an HK punch.
yeah.
So the what I talked about earlier, the finished firearm of the week, that is the new segment on Mondays. And what we're gonna do is, since Dad likes to markle things up, where he's got a bunch of stuff that's really cool projects that he's done. So he's gonna talk about those every week. And what we would like to do is, if you've done a Duracoat project of some sort, and it doesn't just have to be on firearms, but the segment is called Finished Firearm of the Week. So if you've done a Duracoat project and you're proud of it, send it in to info@studentofthegun.com. And if it's neat and cool, we'll bring you on to talk about it and tell us why you did it, how you did it, what kind of what drove you to do it. And I know we've got some people out there that participated in the Sexy Can contest. So it'd be cool to bring on some of our Sexy Can contest winners to talk about why they did that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right.
if you have a video of the project, go upload that to Full30 and then send that link to info@studentofthegun.com, and we'll give it a look-see. And if we think it's pretty cool, so we'll rate them in things that we think are cool, which sometimes we like different things. So if we get 100 different things submitted, then we're going to rate them from 0 to 100. Or is it 1 to 100? Would it be 1 to 100? Or is it 0?
So I was on brownells.com, and they have ETS HKMP5 magazines. They have them in 10, 20, and 30 round versions. And guess what? They're all the exact same price.
Oh,
so
would you get the 10 round then?
Yeah. What? Well, because I don't know. Maybe I can't imagine that any kind of MP5, SP5, PTR, Zenith, whatever. I can't imagine any of those guns are legal for peasants to own in California. So I don't know what the 10 round thing would be all about. But
no, hold on a second. The magazines on Brownells are only $37.
$39.99.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the ETS magazines.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The translucent ones.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about the translucent ones is I'm going to tip my hat to them. So for all of you schizophrenic, psychotic Americans that have to know how many rounds are in your thing, what they did is they did away with the holes. So there aren't dust vents now in the, although I was schooled recently though, Jared, I was schooled that the holes in the back of the magazines are there to let the dust get out.
Oh, so it gets
not to let it get in. It
doesn't have to get in there first.
No. You're wrong thinking. No, they're there to let the dust get out. So dust won't get in the magazines. It falls out those holes.
Well, I mean, isn't there a big old hole on the top that the dust comes out? I mean,
stop thinking. All right. Let's move on. Moving on. Yes, indeed. All right. We talked about Duracoat already. Duracoat firearm finishes. Life is too short to have
an ugly gun.
An ugly gun. That's right. If you go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com, you cannot have an ugly gun. Then you'll be a happy camper. Don't forget, though, to sign up for Brownell's newsletter. We didn't say that earlier, but you should. If you're looking for a little bit of extra energy, a little bit extra oomph, a kick in your pants, sometimes we all need a kick in our pants. Go to SWATfuel.com, use the promo code SOTG, save a little bit of money. They do have the 9mm plus P in stock. It's in the clear bottle, so you can see those cool little blue caplets, and you'll be a happy camper. this capsules. If you are a creative person, if you need to engage your brain and be creative, sometimes SWAT Fuel 9mm is what you need.
Yeah. I was just going to say you can get some physical energy and some mental clarity all at the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. This is one of those times where you say, that can't be true. No, it actually is. I don't know how many good ideas I've come up with when I worked out, and then I took SWAT Fuel, worked out, and then I got all this oxygenated blood just zipping around in my brain. And I'm like, idea. Remember we talked the other day about freeze the front sight?
Yeah.
That's how I got it. Yeah, I had an epiphany. I had an epiphanous moment.
Because of that SWAT Fuel.
Yep, I had an epiphanous moment.
Our buddy Kevin Hammond says, do I need to completely disassemble the upper to pull off a Duracoat job? Barrel is free floated, or would I largely just remove the rail?
What you be talking about, Willis? What kind of gun?
An AR, I assume.
Oh,
AR-15.
No, I never disassemble the upper receiver.
What are you talking about, Willis?
I disassemble the lower receiver. I take all the parts out of the lower receiver because
I think that you should leave the trigger group in there when you do it.
Don't Duracoat the trigger group. Please don't do that.
Man, we get
or
letters.
two.
Jared said to leave the trigger group in.
Said go ahead and spray it, it'll be fine. Now it doesn't work. No, don't do that. Yeah, any of the internals, you want to, for instance, you don't want to spray inside of your barrel. That would be not smart of you, or retarded. So what I'll do is I'll stuff I basically just stuff paper up inside of the upper receiver, and I plug the barrel from both ends.
Oh, dude, that's another use for a tampon.
Ooh, you could do that. You could shove a tampon. I never thought to shove a tampon in there because it's got the little string hanging out, so you can just pull it.
You just pull it.
Done. Yeah, there you go. All right. So we already talked about that. I think because it's Wednesday, it's time for us to be quiet and let Zach do something.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
So, Zach, you're telling me that our store is open right now?
It is open as we speak right
now. That is excellent. That is excellent. That is good customer service right there. The store is open right now as we speak.
I'm trying to remember if we got anything on sale at the moment.
So what? So buttons. Buttons. So, Jared, I've got to ask you, did you send those super cute videos and pictures of my grandbaby in her rocking chair?
In the rocking chair to Grandma?
Grandma.
I have not yet.
You need to do that.
Yeah, I don't have them on my phone yet. But as soon as I do, I will do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It was. Did Alex send the one of her climbing up on the chair and standing in?
Yes. That child. Oh my goodness, that child.
I guess that's how we use rocking chairs now.
That's how we're rolling now. Oh my goodness.
And now that she's figured out how to like step up onto something, everything she touches, even the wall, she's like, "Can I step up on this?
Can I put my foot on this and get up?"
It's funny.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, what else do we always do on we do this little thing called the Student of the Gun Homeroom every Wednesday. It's brought to you by crossbreedholsters.com, and it has a theme song. Dangerous by Madison Rising, used with express written permission from the publisher and artist. So you people at Facebook and YouTube can venture forth and consume a satchel of Richards. All right, what are we going to talk about today? The courts fail the people again? What? I know you say this. Is this a pattern? Is this a pattern where elitist scumbags in black robes just decide that the peasants are and are not allowed to do certain things? Well, it's a good thing we have these elitists in black robes to explain to we stupid peasants what the English language means, right, Jared? Because we're just all too dumb. I don't know what those words mean. I wish that there was someone who was smarter than me who could tell me what the word mean.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
But there got to be more than that. It's got to be way more complicated. No, you elitist puke bag fornicators in black robes. It's not harder than that. It's super simple. So we got a story here from.
Did we break down the Second Amendment on the grad program, or was that?
No, it was on Monday.
Okay. Well, if you are new to the show and you just came in today on Wednesday, go back to Monday's show, which was episode number 1041. Go listen to that. We broke down each portion of the Second Amendment.
Yeah. So, Jared, would you please read to me or read for us the story here?
Yep. Carrying guns in public is not a constitutional right. Ninth Circuit rules. The majority of an 11-judge in Bonk Ninth Circuit panel concluded that the Second Amendment does not guarantee the right to carry firearms outside the home.
How?
I don't know. I
How?
have to read these 127-page opinion. I'll have to read that.
127
Americans have no right to carry guns in public. A divided en banc Ninth Circuit panel ruled Wednesday, reversing a prior Ninth Circuit decision that struck down a Hawaii firearm restriction as unconstitutional. This is a quote from U.S. Circuit Judge J. Bibby. There is no right to carry arms openly in public, nor is any such right within the scope of the Second Amendment. So J. Bibby is a George W. Bush appointee, and that's what he wrote in the 127-page opinion.
I want you to get to this next one, and then I'm going to go ahead and crucify these people. So go ahead.
Looking back on 700 years of legal history dating back to 14th century England, 7 judges in the majority found, quote, end quote, overwhelming evidence that the law has never given people, quote, an unfettered right to carry weapons in public spaces, end quote.
All right. All right.
That's a lie.
Okay. Well, first of all, are you effing kidding me? So judges in the United States of America decided to go back 700 years and examine legal precedent that existed before the United States of America. I wrote this little book. It's called Examining the Armed Citizen, the historical struggle between men and the state for the possession of small arms. And in this book, I went back and I examined the history of the world and of tyrannical and authoritarian governments in the world, in Japan, in England, in Germany, in Russia, in the United States, and so forth. And yes, in that case, they are right. Because the history of our world up to 1776, actually, 1790, 1788, 1790, was that if you were in charge, whether you're a king, an emperor, a czar, whatever your name was, a pharaoh, and whatever you were, the history of the world was that as soon as you got in charge, you disarmed your enemies. Anybody in the country that wasn't for you, they get disarmed. Because we can't have the peasants having the same swords and bows and I mean, Jared, do you remember when we went back and did the crossbow ban thing? We talked about how they banned the ownership and possession of crossbows because we couldn't just have some stupid peasant shoot a lordly knight off of his horse with a crossbow. We can't allow that. We got to disarm these people. So when the Ninth Circuit Court says, well, we looked at 700 years of legal history, and well, lo and behold, we found that in England and France and you name it, that they disarmed the people. Zach, get ready to deedle this. No shit. That's why the United States of America is different. That's why we have a Bill of Rights. Maybe you scumbags at the Ninth Circuit Court might want to look at the history, not of all these other countries, because we know that all these other countries disarmed their people. That was the history of the world up until our founders said, you know what? We're going to do it differently.
Isn't the Ninth Circuit Court supposed to read this little dealio here?
You mean the Bill of Rights?
Well, I mean, aren't they supposed to enforce the Constitution, which includes the Bill of Rights? Did the Bill of Rights and the Constitution,
British law?
Yeah, did that exist 700? Did this exist 700 years ago?
No.
I'm just curious. So this is kind of concerning to me here. This is another portion of the judge's opinion. He says the Second Amendment did not contradict the fundamental principle that the government assumes primary responsibility for defending persons who enter our public spaces. The states do not violate the Second Amendment by asserting their longstanding English and American rights to prohibit certain weapons from entering those public spaces as means of providing domestic tranquility, safety, and forestalling domestic violence. All right, so here in Amendment 10, it says the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So from my short time on this earth, my understanding of Amendment 10 is that if the powers are not specifically delegated to the United States government, the federal government as a whole, or prohibited by the Constitution, then they fall on the state or the people.
And to the people. Yes.
And so here in Amendment 2, it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I'm pretty sure that prohibits the infringement.
Story. So seven judge majority traced legal tracks back to 1348 English Parliament. Was the United States of America formed so that we could mirror the English Parliament? Jared, who were our enemies in 1776? Who did we throw off the chains of?
The Chinese.
The king and the English Parliament. Who was taxing us unfairly? It was the Parliament. Who was trying to disarm us? It was the Parliament and the king. This is insane. This is literally crazy. We have sitting judges in the United States that are saying, well, in 1348 England, they made this ruling. Therefore, that counts in the United States of America in 2021. Are you insane?
Well, I do agree with them that the history and the context of the history is very important to finding out what these people meant when they wrote this stuff. And so if we go and we examine the history around why this little thingy was created, literally this little thing right here, not a 1,700 page or a 17,000 page document, just this was created. If we examine the history around that, then we would find, based upon multiple different sources, that the opposite of what these judges are saying is true.
I don't know who got to these guys. I don't know who bribed them.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy.
Because they're the same ones that said, no, the Hawaiian law is unconstitutional and you can't prohibit people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is straight up tyranny from the bench. And it's so obvious.
It's en banc tyranny.
That it's so obvious to anyone who knows how to read and understands. So what they're saying, based on this precedent, any part of the United States Constitution that doesn't jive with 14th century England can be thrown out. That's what they're saying.
This is one of those things where I almost wonder how nobody stood up and just kind of went like, "Are you retarded?
I have a question.
What the hell are you talking about?"
Were there slaves in 14th century England?
Yes.
Yes.
So does that nullify that amendment?
Yes. According to this, if you go back 700 years,
could women vote?
No, they couldn't.
I'm just curious.
So what we could do is we could sue to have the amendment that allowed women to vote, to have that thrown out and overturned, and we could cite 700 years of precedent. What? No! Oh no! You can't do that. You can't throw out no. You can't overturn an amendment because 700 years ago women couldn't vote. You just said 700 years ago people weren't allowed. The government was okay with disarming the people, so that makes it okay and it makes it constitutional. No, it doesn't. This is insane. This is crazy. And the fact that not one person in the media, has stood up and said, "Are you people on drugs?" So you judges are saying, well, we went back to 1348 England, and in 1348 England, it said that it's okay for the people to the government to disarm the people. That's why we have a United States of America, is because we didn't want to be like every other country in the world. This is crazy. This can't be allowed to stand. Ladies and gentlemen, you have elitist ruling class puke bags sitting on the bench who've decided that they are going to rule over you. This is crazy. All right. But we have good news. And here's the good news. The good news is this. Well, Jared, go ahead and give us the good news. There's another member in the Constitutional Carry Club.
Loading.
Enhance.
Tennessee legislature passes permitless handgun carry bill. I was trying to save that.
Okay.
It's 215 pages. The opinion document is
215 page opinion on a one sentence amendment.
I'm sure there's something.
Tyranny.
Oh yeah, they have a summary. Okay. So anyway,
Tyranny.
Geez, Merry Christmas. Anyway, so the Tennessee legislature passes permitless handgun carry bill. It's permitless, which is the default permitless carry.
Which means that you normal people, I hate that term.
Yeah, me too. Late Monday evening, the Tennessee General Assembly approved Governor Lee's legislation to allow most adults to carry handguns without obtaining a permit. Governor Bill Lee backed the bill, but said that there is little concern for gun safety throughout the state. The bill restricts some people from getting their hands on a weapon without a permit, including people who have had a DUI in the past 5 years or 2 DUIs in 10 years.
So quit being stupid and driving drunk.
Well, this is kind of dumb, though, because it says the bill restricts some people from getting their hands on a weapon without a permit. Tennessee, you don't have to have a permit to buy a gun.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
The permitless carry bill passed the House of Representatives 64-29 Monday night. Only
29
5 House
scumbags.
Republicans. Yep, only 5 House Republicans voted against it. In my mind, that sentence should be 5 too many House Republicans voted against it. Director Rawlings with the Memphis Police Department has been very vocal and stressing concern about this bill.
You scumbag.
Cares?
Oh,
he says,
an elitist cop. Imagine that.
Says, quote, "I think permitless carry is bad for Memphis. I don't see how it is such a great thing for the state of Tennessee when the state of Tennessee leads the nation in violence.
No, it doesn't.
One of the top 3 in violence, especially violence against children.
This guy is a scumbag, and this is what you get when you have a scumbag freaking. All right, Jared, we've been to Memphis, right? You've been to Memphis. I've been to Memphis a bunch of times. Memphis is historically significant, and it is currently a crap hole. Okay, it's a Democrat-filled crap hole. If you removed the city of Memphis from the state of Tennessee, the gun violence would spiral into the basement.
Oh my goodness.
You're a crappy city that causes that.
This is okay. Here we go. This is a perfect example. It just shows this dude's mindset. Okay, so he said that when the state changed the law to let you carry a gun in your car without a permit, that was the first red flag. So he said, quote, "We've seen what happened with extending the house to the car because we saw an explosion of guns being stolen from cars." So in his mind, it is the person's who owns the car and owns the firearm. It's their fault that the thief is breaking in and stealing the gun.
Yeah, it's not the thief.
Don't leave guns in your cars. But why would you not? Why, as a cop, why would you not start? Or in addition to, as a cop, why would you not start with trying to stop the thief?
Oh, you can't stop thieves. We have to
change
alter
your
the
behavior as a law-abiding citizen.
Right. So we're going to put the onus on the victim. So it's the victims. So by that, you could take that extension right there and you could say, when women started wearing yoga pants, the instances of rape exploded. If women would have stopped wearing yoga pants, that wouldn't have happened. That is the exact same mentality. That's saying, well, if the victim would change their way of behaving, then the criminals. I got an idea.
How dare you victim shame
crap,
Rollins?
You piece of crap. How about you worry about the criminals, and how about you take care of criminal behavior and not try and blame the victim? This is elitist scumbag crap of the highest extent. You can call him up and say, I said so. Fornicate you, Director Rawlings. I bet he's got 4 stars on his collar like he thinks he's Patton or something. So congratulations to Tennessee for not listening to this elitist scumbag chief of police in Memphis. How about you clean up your own streets, scumbag? So congratulations to Tennessee. Tennessee is now one of, 13, 15? What are we up to now? I don't know what we're up to now. How many carry states we're up to? I'm going to look up the map. The map.
Sweet.
It's the map.
Zach, what time are we at?
It's about time to pull the plug on this one.
Yeah, we're at 58 minutes.
All right.
Well, while he's pulling up that map to look at that stuff, if you're not part of the Student of the Gun Discord server yet, go to studentofthegun.com/Discord, join our server, and hopefully Microsoft doesn't end up buying Discord. I like Discord the way it is, and
So
and maybe we should all, if every listener here chipped in a little bit of money, maybe we could buy Discord.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And so it looks like, I might be off, but it looks like Tennessee's going to be number 19 in the Constitutional Carry Club. Oh, hold it. Isn't Utah constitutional now?
Yes.
Didn't they just pass that?
Yes.
So this map needs to be updated.
Sort of. It's sort of.
Sort of?
Yeah. Well, we talked about it. It's people 21 and over, so it's not really constitutional carry.
Well, I mean, okay.
But it's like for
permit less for anyone 21 and over who's a citizen.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
So it's like a halfway there, but it's better than nothing. So
yeah.
There's that.
Well, what they did is they took they had a really broad castle doctrine, and they essentially expanded that and said, okay, castle doctrine means this, and castle doctrine means anywhere that you can legally go. So if you can legally go there and you're an adult, you can legally have a gun while you're there. So, all right. Well, very good. Congratulations to our friends in Tennessee. You know what? Maybe Tennessee can set the example for our boys in Texas, who still...
Are they still not constitutional?
Nope.
Jiminy Christmas. What's going on down there, Ryan Barker?
The Texas permitless carry bill. Texas hears constitutional carry bill 4 days ago. So they're putting it through the House again. We can get them scumbags in Houston, Dallas, and Austin to not act like communists.
Studentofthegun.com/Discord, by the way.
Studentofthegun.com/Discord. All right, kids. That's it for today. That's it. We're going to be back tomorrow for a bonus hour. That's right. Bonus hours on Thursday. Bonus hours on Friday.
2 boners.
2 boners. And don't forget to support our friend, our mutual friend, Nicholas Orr, in his endeavors, and congratulate him. And
his website is launching if you're listening live, it's launching today or tomorrow. If you're listening to this as podcast format, it will be available when you listen. So go to officialnicholasorr.com.
There you go. And remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.